temperature superconductor? What?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Learn things.
What is this? The name of an indie band that I'm too cool to know about?
I think this is
we're really gonna dork out because that's big stuff if it's true.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess
if it's true.
That's
it's
world
12.
shattering.
It's 12.
I have faith.
Okay. We have faith in you.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You are watching Midweek Geeks. My name's Leo. I'm monkey behind the keyboard here. We have a fun show scheduled for you as always. And without further ado, Powerful Brandon.
Fun monkey behind the keyboard here. We have a fun show.
Oh.
Caller, we're going to need you to turn down your radio. Just turn down your radio, caller. No, just turn down your radio. And then we can talk. No, we're getting a lot of feedback over here. Just turn it down. Yeah, no, you'll still be able to hear yourself. Yeah, no, just turn it down, caller.
But I was on the radio.
Okay, no, that's great. Okay, no, can you hear? Okay, great, we can hear you. Sorry, you are not caller number 10. Next caller. Hi, everyone. Powerful Brandon here. Happy Wednesday. And all that jazz.
No, that jazz.
Gary.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Hinata hanging out with me tonight. Yeah, super excited. If you see me talking weird, I had some dental work done, so I have a bit of I have some skin graft on here, so forgive any lisping.
Okay, well
that's my big excitement.
Hey everybody, it's Wednesday. I'm here. There we go.
Oh,
good stuff. Yeah. What an ambivalent crew we have this Sunday.
I know.
Hey, welcome to the Wednesday show or not. I'm not your fucking boss.
Yeah. Why'd I even show up? I'm not even supposed to be here last week.
You're not supposed to be here next week. We're gonna be getting ready for well, actually, no. We'll still probably be doing a show. We're leaving for.
It's fucking Wednesday,
Virginia.
Isn't the show on the weekend?
No. We're driving down to Virginia next Thursday.
Oh, well then, that's a horse of a different color. Why didn't you say so?
How far is that?
It'll be 7 or 8 hours.
Welcome to New England, where we measure distance in time.
I'm from the Midwest. We do we hit like New Orleans overnight from Nebraska. So it just.
How far is it? Oh, it's about 5 minutes that way. Wow. Thanks, Bobby. That really answered my question.
Yeah.
And what speed should I be going for 5 minutes?
It's some walks away.
It's just over the hill or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
That should always come in. It's like 45 minutes down that way. What? That sounds like the beginning of a horror movie. Are you fucking nuts?
Don't forget
Have you been-
there's only two types of movies that start that way: horror movies and porn. All right, and either way, I have a feeling I'm getting fucked. So no, thank you.
Well, most of New England could be like in a horror movie anyway. I mean, Stephen King, wasn't part of his stuff out of New
Part
London.
of his stuff.
I don't know. I
Dude,
one story about
the
Nebraska. I
vast
think the rest
majority
was
of his
Maine.
bibliography takes place in
In
his
Maine.
home state of Maine.
Yeah.
But yes, but he has a lot of stuff take place in New England. So does his son Joe Hill. But there's also Lovecraft. He was a fun, happening racist from Providence, Rhode Island.
There's Jaws. That was in New England.
That's true. That is in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
It's Martha's Vineyard.
Until they introduced the
It's
not
like
psychedelic.
it's like fucking from where I am. Martha's Vineyard is like 3 hours that way.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I
You know how long it's gonna take to drive to Martha's Vineyard? I'm guessing a long fucking time, because you're supposed to take a boat, stupid.
Speaking of Jaws, I saw Meg 2.
Oh, did you?
Oh my god.
I watched the first one, so I was slightly tempted to watch the second one, although I amazingly put the first one out of my complete memory, except for the little kid in it seeing.
Wow,
the
that
shark
screams volumes to the quality of the movie that you
Oh.
watched.
It was not that good.
Oh well, then I stand by my statement.
I have to say the first one was much better than the second one.
And
Wow.
that's
Wow, in a rare move, the first movie is much better than the sequel when it comes to a schlock horror film.
the
Well,
Meg.
the first one,
Color me tickled pink.
Did they like genetically enhance the shark or anything?
no. They found a baby megalodon and decided to raise it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah, like you do. And they go down to the bottom of I think the Marianas Trench. They go past like the thermal layer, and there's all these weird creatures down there, like a gigantic octopus, and then more Megs. And they say, that's the biggest Meg anybody's ever seen. Nobody's seen a fucking Meg except for the first movie. Like,
Well, hold on. You can't. I mean, you literally can't sit there and go, nobody's even seen a Meg except for everybody in the first movie that saw a Meg.
yeah.
And they're all dead.
I mean, I'm willing to go with you for this ride, Leo. Don't get me wrong. It's actually quite refreshing to hear you be like, this is just not good. Like, that's as vehement as you get about it. Sir, the quality of this film was not quite up to snuff, and I was vaguely disappointed with the outcome. Whoa, Leo, calm down, buddy. It's okay to not like things. This guy's going off the rails.
There's a scene with Jason Statham. He's riding a jet ski.
I would
and
imagine since he's the star, there's a lot of them with Jason Statham.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's riding a jet ski and he's going to battle the 3 Megs that made it up to the surface. So
On a jet ski?
On a jet ski, he rigged some
Fast and Furious Part 13.
He rigged some poles, sharpened the ends, and stuck an explosive at the end of it. So his goal was to go after the Megs and jab it and blow up. He was able to kill one.
So the purpose of this movie was just to string together like shark and explosion and water thingies.
Oh, and giant octopus. And,
just big bad sea creatures and lots of like crazy boom, big splash page action comic book stuff. So really, the producers were trying to make porn for Michael Bay, because I'm fairly certain that's
pretty much,
the only way he can sustain an erection now is if there's at least 3 explosions involved in whatever the situation is.
Well, and it's removing the fear of getting eaten by a shark. Like in Jaws,
in replacing it with wild indifference to the entirety of the movie. That's a bold move.
Okay,
It doesn't seem like it paid off.
hear me out. So, like a shark attack, you figure you're getting eaten alive by a shark. It's gonna chew you up, and it's gonna be excruciatingly painful. Whereas the Meg, there's a scene. It's going past swimmers. It just opens its mouth, and you have all the swimmers like like a whale, just like getting gobbled up like a whale. It's
Okay, so you just described Pinocchio to me.
exactly, yeah. Except it's a bunch of people in inner tubes
Yeah. Okay.
and
Well,
razor sharp teeth.
are you? Hold on. Wait. Like you were like leaning towards indifferent of this movie, and why are you jumping to like staunch defense of it all of a sudden? I don't understand you.
No,
I'm
it's
so confused by you, Leo.
It's goofy fun. It is, yeah. It
So
is.
did you like it or not? I'm
I'm on the-
confused at this point.
I'm confused too.
Is it Tomb of the
I
Terrible
feel like if you don't know, that's kind of your answer, right?
It's
You'd be
the
like,
type
I
of.
don't know if I liked this. Well, then probably you didn't like it.
It's the type of movie that is bad fun. It's a bad movie, but we had fun. It was a movie.
Yes,
Jump the shark.
That
Jason
was a
Statham
movie.
starring in one of the movies of all time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and I started back with Warrior. I binged a bunch of that and made it to the last season.
And
It's so good. Holy shit, is that a good show?
I've only done the first season of that, but it was definitely really, really well put together.
Yeah, it's well worth it. Any of you watch Warrior?
Not yet. I have it on my list on Max because you bring it up. It's like fucking cyclical, like every 2 goddamn months. Like, oh, the show Warrior. It's it's based off of Bruce Lee's original pitch for Kung Fu that they stole from him. Yes, Leo, we fucking know because you say it every time. And also, I have seen Dragon the Bruce Lee story as well.
Well, I start watching it. I get 4 or 5 episodes into the first season, and I'm really enjoying it. And then time goes away, and I can't watch anymore. So I devoted time at night.
Leo, are you losing chunks of time? Hold on a second, buddy.
Yes.
Are you like, I would like to watch Warrior, and then next thing you know, it's 7 hours later. Your clothes are like covered in dirt. You get grime all over your hands. You're holding a garden spade, and you're like, "What have I been doing?" And then you're just like, "Well, fiddle dee dee, brush your teeth, wash your hands and face, go to bed."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And you're just like, "Oh shoot, Warrior, that got away from me. I'll try again tomorrow."
Yeah.
Hi, Jenny Elliott. Hi, Jenny.
Well, how we all have limited time, so it's it's the type of show.
Oh, what a profound statement! We all have limited time. This is true.
Yeah.
This is the human condition.
It is.
I agree on a very, very deep and philosophical level.
How we're
Insofar
all
as the context
connected.
of this
All
conversation,
one
I would say no shit, but otherwise, yeah, spot on.
Yeah. So I've been trading sleep for Warrior. I've been staying till up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just binging it. Yeah.
How many other people do you know that watch the show, Leo?
Nobody.
Join a subreddit, bro. Jesus Christ. You got to talk to somebody about this show. And clearly it can't be us because
I'll get you to watch it.
All I know about it is that it's based on the original pitch that Bruce Lee had for Kung Fu before they stole it from him.
That is it.
Good Omens too.
Yeah.
I'm way behind in everything.
I'm on Good Omens 1 again. I wanted to rewatch it, so I had everything fresh in my head for part 2.
Hey,
Nice.
I'm telling you, once you finish watching Good Omens 2, if you get the chance and you check it out on Pluther, I believe. I asked our good friend Fearless Leoder here. Staged, starring Michael Sheen and David Tennant.
Mhm.
It's hilarious.
Oh
It
yeah,
all-
I know. I started
Is that the
watching that
COVID thing?
actually. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's this. I mean, it's just them in front of Zoom essentially, and it's gloriously hilarious.
Yeah,
Very well
they have
edited.
really good, like, they're very
Chemistry?
charismatic with each other. Yeah, chemistry. Thank you.
What
That's
else
what I
have they
do.
done together?
Get the words.
Good Omens. They met
Oh,
and worked together for the first time on Good Omens.
oh really?
And over COVID lockdown, they decided they got together with this stage director, Simon Evans, and they developed the idea for Stage, which is a sitcom where they play themselves. And it's supposed to be that they were going to be a play that was going to be on the West End of London. But because of lockdowns, there was no play. But the director comes up with the idea that they could continue to rehearse over Zoom. So that way, once lockdowns are ended, they'll be kind of quick on their feet and up and running before anybody else really has time to get their bearings. And it's an absolute shit show. Like they play like such conflated, like buffoonish versions of themselves. It's honestly, it's a gem, man. And it was on for three years. They did, for BBC especially, they did it consecutively, like bing bang boom. And it has the two of them, David Tennant's wife, who was actress Georgia Tennant, and Michael Sheen's partner, Anna Lunsberg, and Simon Evans, the director, is in it, as well as his sister Lucy Eaton, and a whole bunch of other British actors and actresses that you've probably seen in a billion things pop through, as well as a few famous American actors. But it's fucking great. Honest to God, like one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life, and this is not spoiling anything. It's Michael Sheen screaming with abandon, Syrian McKellen will save us all. I almost pissed my pants. You gotta watch the show.
I'll check it out. Any of you watching Ahsoka?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm watching Ahsoka. All right.
I'm on the fence about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not loving it.
I'm just knowing that the whole season is all built up around seeing Ezra and Thrawn. I'm just like,
Well, you know what they say: here today, Thrawn tomorrow.
Well, also, who's under that mask of that other Jedi?
Ezra.
Or not Jedi. We
what's
think
his
Ezra.
name?
Jedi's or Ezra's turned evil.
Yeah, and I say that as a completely disinterested, uninformed party. I don't fucking care about any of the stuff that happened in any of the cartoons. I watched 2 videos that totaled about 47 to 48 minutes altogether. That was all about everything you need to know before you watch Ahsoka. And I was like, those are the videos for this guy, because I am not watching like 140 fucking hours of animated shows to be caught up enough to watch Rosario Dawson play the live action version of this character. No, and a thank you. So what I gathered was Ezra at some point in one of these fucking bastard ass series somehow stumbled upon the world between worlds, which allowed him to like go through different portals in certain moments in time. If it sounds stupid, that's because it is. And then he disappears with the space whales, who, studying them through use of science and the Force, has likely been what's enabled us and them to travel through hyperspace. And Ezra like kind of connects with them, and he fucking disappears, like, and that's it. Ezra's gone. So Ezra Bridger the guy who finds the world between worlds and then travels to some other place that we have no idea what it might be with space whales, he is likely going to be some kind of fulcrum that shows us what's where. You know, they'll have a better idea of like what is it called? The uncharted territory, whatever the fuck it's called. The what is the uncivilized space called in Star Wars?
Oh, the Outer Rim.
Is that what it is? The Outer Rim?
I believe they call the uncharted area Outer Rim.
Yeah, the Outer Rim. Like, you know, he'll probably be able to bridge the gaps. He goes between places. Ezra Bridger. I am so fucking sick and tired of Star Wars thinking they are the cleverest goddamn thing on the face of the planet. Ezra Bridger, Luke Skywalker, for Christ's sake, Han Solo. What's the name of the next fucking villain gonna be? Darth Bad Guy? Lazy ass motherfuckers.
So from my understanding, also when he used that like time travel portal thingy, that's also how Ahsoka came back, because I think she was originally killed by Vader.
Yeah, he
in
pulled her
Clone
through a
Wars.
portal and
Yeah.
saved her or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fiddle dee dee. Yeah, I know everybody's like,
Space whales.
dude, every single time Leo said space whales in the past, I was like, what the? Every single, like, it just was so quick. Every single time, did he just like sneak a Star Trek joke into a Star Wars conversation? Like, what's going on here? And now that I see it's space whales, and it's even fucking dumber than I thought.
Well, I mean, there's whales that travel through space and can go,
Yeah, I'm
light
pretty sure.
speed.
I'm
Light
pretty
speed.
sure most of the description you just gave is covered in their title, Space Whales.
Yes,
Like,
but they can do hyperspeed,
Yeah.
hyperspace.
Fast
Oh, yeah.
space whales.
that shit killed me on the. Did we all? Leo, are you and I the only ones that watched like today's episode?
Probably.
What?
Ahsoka.
I watched it.
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
So
Okay, that's the spirit, Kari. I lost my shit when Morgan was like, what was it? Load the turbo laser cannon.
Turbo laser cannons, yeah.
And I was just like, oh yeah, that's just like regular lasers, except they're much, much faster. But I almost pissed my pants, right? Because then like 20 seconds later, which, you think about the way time breaks down in fast scenes, it was probably more like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? She's like, load the turbo laser cannon. And then they finally cut back. They're like 20 seconds. There's all this action's happening, flying around. And they're like, turbo laser cannon is loaded, ma'am. And I'm like, it literally would mean, like, you would think it would mean faster laser, right? And so far, they have taken their sweet fucking time getting this thing ready to go. And then she gets ready to shoot the fucking thing at what's her face there, Sabine and Ahsoka. And just as she's about to hit it, they book it out of there. And I was like, and even further irony, she was too slow in using the turbo laser cannon. This would be brilliant if it weren't so fucking stupid. Turbo laser cannon has got to be like, that is definitely got to be an instance of like, shit, I'm really stumped for what we can call this. Hey, kid, what would you call this thing here? I call it a turbo laser cannon. Yeah, you know what? Good enough. Thanks, kid. I'll just put it in now, and I'll put in a better name for it later. And they forgot to ever go back and change it in the last draft of the script.
Speaking of that, the Ahsoka's ship has reached funding on HasLab.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like her ship, I have to say.
Yeah,
the way
what?
it flies.
How much is that fucking thing?
Whoa.
500.
Okay.
$499.99. Is
Yep.
it like the size of a fucking Power Wheels? And I could pretend I was buzzing around in it, or at least give it to a kid to do that.
It is, it's 28 inches by 34 inches.
So no, it is not. It is not large at all. There's no child riding around in that thing. That's sad.
Well, I think it has two ships in one because you also have their little like pod.
You are
thing that-
not gonna spin this into a positive thing, Leo. Oh, it's like a twofer. No,
Oh,
fuck
and
that
you
shit.
get the Ahsoka figure. Or no, that's not Ahsoka. That's General
that's Hera.
Hera. Yeah.
Yeah. You get the Phantom 2, which is that little pod ship. What else do you get? Oh, you get a carded Ezra.
Ezra Bridger. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like, wasn't he like a little bit more towards like a late teen when he got fucking disappeared with the space whales in that fucking cartoon? Why is this goddamn hologram they keep showing him in fucking Ahsoka show him he's like fucking 33? I did a lot of growing up while I was away. Oh my god, Ezra! It's only been like 3 weeks. She's been watching the same hologram the entire time he's been gone. It was just like a really rough, like most of a month before we sent that.
I wonder if we're gonna see Zeb because they've already had him in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I have no idea who that is.
This guy,
He looks happy.
the furry guy.
Thank you for that.
Furry
That's
guy.
on me. You know what? I have no one to blame but myself.
The Chewbacca alternative. Like he can actually talk.
Okay,
Chewbacca
well, there's
light.
another
Chewbacca
band name
light.
dibs right there. The Chewbacca alternative.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
Let the Wookiee win.
So what else is everybody watching or playing or what are you doing?
Superman, the animated series.
Oh my god, my Adventures with
loving
Superman
it.
is fucking amazing.
The last episode was so good.
Dude, I'm just so happy that one of my biggest like gripes, I guess you could say, with the Superman story as it's told in the modern era is it just I really hate how a lot of people have focused on this weird like, oh, he feels so different from everyone. Like, no, that's actually not it at all. Is the fact that Clark is supposed to be like a pretty decent dude, and he's like, yeah, I kind of like being by myself, but I've had good friends. I don't need a lot of them. I just need good ones. And he shouldn't feel like he's always hiding something, especially from people who he honestly does grow to love and trust. So the fact that they have made Lois and Jimmy part of his whole like adventure in becoming Superman, even at this point, is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
It's the only other time that I've seen it come close to being done like that was, and I'm loath to say, in the show Smallville. I like the fact that in that Lois Lane knew his secret before he actually decided to become Superman, and she was instrumental in the decision he made to do it. I really like that, and it also shows like less of a condescending attitude towards Lois, especially. It's one thing that always just kind of like went up my butt sideways was the fact that Lois Lane is this like incredibly talented Pulitzer Prize winning investigative journalist, and she seriously looks at Superman like as a news story, as a news item, like the way a dog looks at a fire truck going by. Like she is ready to fucking chase after it and try to get it to stop no matter what. She wants the scoop. And for all the tunnel vision on that, like I just have the hardest time believing that she would look at Clark Kent and never fucking put 2 and 2 together on that. Christopher Reeve's performance be damned in this day and age with social media and photos being taken constantly, like in all areas of life, work and play. I just, you know, it doesn't gel. And so to have this current modern day retelling in My Adventures with Superman and show that Clark truly is friends with Lois and Jimmy before anything else happens at all, and how that progresses throughout the episodes we've gotten so far is like, it's fucking awesome. And I gotta say, I actually really like the redesign of the S emblem for the show. It works perfectly. It definitely looks like Superman's S, but at the same time, it does have like a cool alien look to it. I buy that more than like the swirly shit that we see.
The normal
and
big
I
bubble
I'm just
letter.
I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, like, you know, not including the movie stuff, like Brando wearing the S, and that's why they changed it into being like a family crest. But like, the S looks good, and it's definitely evolved over time. But this is the one that I've seen in usage in like a broad form of media where I'm like, yeah, that actually does look like it could be an alien symbol that we just see as an S because it's the closest we can like get to it with our own language. It's fucking awesome. Like, god damn it. And I never would have thought Jack Quaid would have been like the best pick for Clark Kent and Superman, but he nails it, man. He really does.
I absolutely love that. You know, we have the good-hearted Superman back. You know, it's especially like when he first developed his super hearing. Like that's what you think Superman would do. He'd be up for like days on straight, just saving everybody he could because he could. You know.
Yeah, and that's actually one thing that I really like about the whole thing starting off is the fact that when you really look at the face of it, when he first puts on the suit and starts doing his thing, like he knows how to fly a bit, and he's really strong, and it's really hard to hurt him, and he's pretty quick. That's all he has going on for him when he starts off as Superman. He starts to develop more powers as the episodes go on, such as the heat ray vision, the X-ray vision, the hearing. So it's been very, very refreshing to kind of see them go through, like, essentially saying he starts off sort of like the 1938 Superman. You know, the main difference is he can fly
instead of just jumping
jumping eighth of a mile.
Yeah.
But as he goes on, we're at a point now where he kind of has like Superman the animated series levels of power, which is still pretty good. It allows him to like get into some knockdown dragouts and still be able to take a few lumps, so you feel like there's some kind of a, you know, risk that he's taking, you know. But anyway,
that one scene when he protects Lois from the bullets, and she goes, "I didn't know you were bulletproof," and he said something like, "I didn't either. I just knew you weren't." Yeah, such a good show.
That's so sweet.
I didn't know for sure if I was, but I definitely knew you weren't.
Yeah,
I didn't know how many guys it was going to take for them to kick my ass, but I knew how many they were going to use.
What about you, Kari? What do you got going on?
I've been doing a lot of reading lately, so I'm catching up on some old comic books, and then I get interested in stuff like we had Art Balthazar on Splash Page last night, so I read like everything, pretty, you know, not everything of his, but I did.
I read everything.
Everything.
I read all the things. But they've got a bunch of horror stuff coming out, so I'm going back and trying to remember, like, okay, what exactly was this? Because I get lost when I've gone through so much stuff on exactly like which part of Immortal Hulk, for example, was something taking place in, and which part of this, because they have the new Incredible Hulk is out, you know, and it's reached issue 2, and it's like, and that's a callback to this, but it doesn't say what episode anymore. So they do that with you remember what I'm talking about, the little like
a little blurb, yeah.
Wait until you start reading Powers.
And they got rid of them in some, and so it's like, I wish I had that back. But and trying to read the Night Terrors and getting through all that, that's what I've been doing. I've been reading a lot of horror comics and then some just regular books as well, because I have a lot of authors that I follow that have been releasing new things and want to keep up with that for them. So, try to get reviews out.
Awesome.
Haven't been watching much because I do so much reading, but I did try, like I said, I started The Good Omens too, so that I can get caught up.
What's
Good
the
stuff.
newest movie you guys watched for Tomb of the Terrible?
The last one we watched was PG Psycho Gorman, and then we have a list. that we're gonna
Psycho
be doing-
Gorman, yes.
It's an amazing
love that
movie.
I love that movie.
We currently have a list. We're going to be spinning a wheel, and we need to narrow it down because we have a list of like over 100 movies now to go through and choose from. And I think we need to.
Let me ask you a question. You watched
Okay.
Psycho Gorman, right?
Yes.
Have you ever watched the live action 1991 movie The Guyver?
I have not watched The Guyver. I know that the rest of them have.
You
Right.
should see The Guyver. It's not good. The creature design, the costumes, outstanding. The rest of the movie, dumpster fire. But you should watch it, especially after. I mean, you've already seen Psycho Gorman, but if you had any ember of interest and amusement in Psycho Gorman, you should watch The Guyver. It was directly responsible for the creation of Psycho Gorman.
I have heard things about it. Yes, we do over on Owlite Tomb of the Terrible, which is what we watch that for, and so we find that we've done. Killer Sofa is another one that I think is amazing. I think Velocipaster's
Is that
coming up.
Killer Sofa? That's with
I couldn't
hold
tell
on.
you.
I think we covered that.
It's a
Killer
recliner technically because it was supposed to be I Love My Lazy Boy, and they got sued for that title, and so they changed
Lazy
it to Killer
Boy.
Sofa
Why didn't they just
And-
change it to Crazy Boy?
because Killer Sofa popped in, and they decided to. We looked into that actually.
Because there's no one as clever as me that was working on the production. That's why.
Exactly.
Obviously.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
They are working on a part 2 though, or they were. We've been following.
Oh,
those
so it's a
guys.
sectional.
Bravo, sir.
Have you seen
Yeah.
Tire?
Oh, Slazy Boy. All right, yeah, you win this round.
Crazy boy.
It-
Uh,
Rubber
Carrie,
or tire?
or yeah, rubber.
clicks.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Rubber yet. That's on the list as well. You guys will have to come and have fun with this because we just love tearing these movies up and watching, and we'll know ahead of time, every week now what movie we're going to be watching for the next week. So if it's something that you're interested in just disseminating and destroying,
You ever
Come join
watch
us
The
in fun.
Guardian? You ever see The Guardian by William Friedkin?
no,
No.
No, deeply terrible. deeply terrible. It's just an awful movie. Fucking 10 out of 10 stars, says nobody ever.
what is the one that has it's the Gippers? It has the people going around camping and a bunch of dirty hippies hanging out, and then intentionally I'm saying this, I'm not being insulting towards hippies, but they're acting
No.
that
It's
way,
just
and
I
then-
feel like you've described 58 movies
Yeah.
far.
but then like the guy who's out to get him, the bad guy wears a Ronald Reagan mask, and he's running around like he's the killer at their.
I just watched Point Break the other day, but
I
that's
can't
not it.
remember. It's there's
You
so
ever
much
watch-
with Ronald Reagan in it.
You ever see the movie?
and-
You ever watch Ticks? You ever seen the movie Ticks?
No.
No.
Oh man, Alfonso Ribeiro at his finest. It's so bad. You gotta check it out.
How about Greasy Strangler?
Oh, the Greasy Strangler. Fucking bleh. I know of it. I'm good.
Okay, it's The Tripper. It was 2006, and it's a Ronald Reagan obsessed serial killer targets a bunch of hippies who are heading to a weekend long concert. But it actually has some good. I think it has
Kill this one for the Tripper.
well, Courtney Cox is in it. I thought that the guy from
That's not a
Big
sign of
Brown
quality.
House
I
was
mean,
there, but
she
no,
was in Masters of the Universe.
Jamie
Hey.
King, Lucas Haas, like David Arquette. There's some really interesting people in it.
They were married at one time. That's probably what happened there.
Actually, they were
Yeah.
married for a lot of time.
Oh yeah, they were for a lot of time.
It's just
They're not
this
anymore,
one
right?
time-
No,
It was just a big time, Brandon. It was,
it was like
I-
longer than the amount of time that Leo loses whenever he plans on watching Warrior, and he wakes up ever
What happened?
dirty,
He gets a
holding
mortal
a garden spade, standing in his kitchen, not able to remember exactly how he got there or what happened in the previous 7 hours.
Oh, wait. Okay, so do they kill like the lead dirty hippie and then just like leave the rest there? It's like trickle down hackonomics.
There was a better way to set that up, and you didn't find it. So
but he
Nope.
at least went for it. I appreciate the effort.
you go for the glory, Huck.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
I spent the past couple weeks reading Mark Miller books that I hadn't touched in fucking years, and I honestly got to say, as a grown man now, revisiting some of these things that I have not opened up in like 17 years, wow, just some of that shit is just not great. And I don't mean like it's so offensive, although there's quite a bit of it that's offensive. It's just it's so much edge for the sake of being edgy, and I haven't reopened Kick-Ass to read it because I probably should at this point because it has a lot more heart to it than a lot of the other stuff he was doing. But holy shit, man. There were so many books that came out between like 1995 and like 2009 that were just the most puerile, ultra violent, explosion filled shit that you could even possibly imagine in the comic industry. And we have fellows like Mr. Miller to thank for it. So
Do-
jog on, buddy.
Any examples that you feel
Wanted, Nemesis. Let me. Those are the ones straight off the bat that I just covered on Comics Paradox. I got some others that we're going to be covering soon too. Like we're going to be doing Superior on our next one, which is a pretty cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool take on sort of like Shazam in a sense, but it's like I'm trying to pinpoint when exactly he stopped being just like full on splash page frenzied in his writing style. Just like everything needed to be big and dynamic. There's a lot of off-screen, off-camera things essentially that occur, and there's no story logic to follow it. I feel like he did hit his groove. We haven't quite caught it yet. But he's also made some misfires even after that point in time where I feel he was making some good, better moves at any rate. Because he did this one book called Chosen that he eventually renamed to American Jesus and took it from being this 3 or 4 issue standalone series to being the first part of the American Jesus trilogy. And so it became American Jesus, Volume 1, Chosen, and it's all about this one kid. And then you go 2 and 3, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes you don't need to sequelize shit. You don't need to continue on. Like, if you just let a thing be the thing, the way that the book ended on the last page, there's so much left to the reader's imagination that I feel ultimately that's the best way to go, because you'll never top what somebody imagines could happen past that point, because no matter what, people will be let down. And that's what happened to me when I read volumes 2 and 3. I tells you what. But yeah, other than that, just finishing up some Star Trek Strange New Worlds, getting caught up with that, and trying to figure out what we're jumping into next to the wife and I. Not Warrior. Shut up, Leo.
Brandon, you would have been proud of us. We all pronounced his name, Mark Miller's name, properly last night. It was
Yes, we had to correct.
But we got it right.
Yeah, it's it's not like the biggest deal, but I mean, it's just like one of those names where it makes sense to look at and be like, oh, it's Millar. But I've read and heard interviews with him, several, where he said like it's Miller. It's pronounced Miller, and I'm like, oh, well, if I ever happen to meet him, I'll make sure to say Mr. Miller and not, hey, Mr. Millar, how's it going? I don't know why I would be talking like Sully, who hangs out smoking Newports outside the Packy, but there it is.
Well,
I'll tell you, ever since they got rid of the fucking menthol on these Newports, it's like picking up a fucking stick off the side of the road trying to smoke something. It's fucking stupid. You fucking suck my dick, Baker. Oh, yeah, no, menthol is a flavor. Yeah, it's called delicious cigarette, you fucking cocksmoker. I just did an impression of like 50,000 bald white Irish dudes in South Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Like 2.5 years ago. Straight up. Guys going out fucking driving to New Hampshire every fucking week now, buying Newport 100 so they can put the cigarette out halfway through, stretch it out that much further. I've seen it. I'm just saying. It's right before my very eyes. These guys might as well have been like, "Now we never met before, have we? Watch, half a cigarette. I saved the rest for later. Okay, bye."
So I know I had this as the thumbnail. I just want to cover it real quickly because I'm finding it really exciting. But LK-99. I'm sure you've all heard of it by now.
Oh yeah.
Well, I actually remember the first time I saw it, right when we went to start this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not a band opening up for Sum 41?
No. So
I think you're lying to me.
Reports have been coming out. Reports have been coming out of South Korea that a lab has been able to create the world's first room temperature superconductor. So we're still waiting on verification on it. But essentially, a superconductor creates the little floaty magnet thingy that I'm sure you've all seen with like the... normally, it can only be done
on what, Leo? The little floaty magnet thing on what?
So essentially, a superconductor, one of the properties that it gives is, say, if you have a magnet, you put it on a magnet and it creates its own magnetic field and actually hovers over the magnet. But they've only been able to do this in near zero temperatures or like extremely cold temperatures.
Cold brew.
Yeah, cold brew. But basically, a superconductor is a way to transmit electricity without losing any electricity or heat. The problem we have with like wires now, when we say you're putting so much electricity through it, you're losing electricity down the line as heat and energy expels from the wires, where a superconductor doesn't lose anything.
Cool.
Yeah, or
warm,
yeah,
warmish.
Yeah.
So what's the implication?
Well, so if this is true, which we don't know it is, and just real quick, how they've developed it is using a copper-doped lead oxyapatite. So essentially, from my understanding, it's like lead with a phosphate and oxygen. Apparently, it's like a simple combination of elements that made this possible. They give the actual proper mixture, and they've released this information. That's why other labs have been trying to replicate it, and we're getting reports that some labs have been able to replicate it.
Tony Stark made one of these in a cave in Afghanistan. Sorry.
So some of the things that we may see is maglev trains. So superconducting magnets could be used in trains to make them levitate above the tracks. More efficient power grids, so transmitting electricity with no loss. Powerful MRI scanners, so more powerful than what we currently have. Compact particle accelerators.
Finally.
They could be used for energy storage systems. More advanced electronics, fusion reactors, quantum computers. So it's if true, I mean, life may change.
God, if you thought the fucking wait time and price of a PlayStation 5 was rough, kids. Woo!
I just want a food replicator already. Like,
we were watching Ahsoka earlier, and they showed like walking in with like a cup or whatever, drinking out of it.
Yeah.
And so it just shows the expanse of the room, and I go, computer, tea, Earl Grey, hot. And Dara looked at me and she was like, like, you just watched, how many seasons of Star Trek did you just fucking watch with me in a row? And she was like, oh, Star Trek. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? Yeah, she just completely was like, oh yeah, Star Wars, that's it. I'm compartmentalizing everything to lead over. I was like, wow. I still got a kick out of it. So like, don't worry, I'm just gonna go walk out on the ship. Now let me put on my high intensity laser lights so they can see exactly where I am. Like, this may have not been the most well thought out plan, but it certainly was the dumbest plan.
Before we move on, I just want to show this real quick. So this is a quick video from one of the laboratories that was able to replicate the material. And they're trying to show you have this little piece that's levitating a bit off the magnet.
If you say so.
Yeah, it's a bit grainy.
Only slightly.
Yeah.
I think a couple of the pixels there are larger than the thing we're supposed to be looking at.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow. It's like.
So what you're saying is I could finally get fucking anti-gravity boots. That's what we're saying here, right?
Quite possibly, yeah. You never know.
Hoverboards are coming.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's going to be so great. Also, I can't wait for the announcement next month when all of a sudden everyone just agrees ubiquitously and unanimously that this stuff causes super cancer.
Yep.
It's too bad we can't use any of it. It would kill all of us within 3 months.
Yep.
Or even
Them's
worse,
the breaks.
or even worse, a lot of the scientists like accidentally fall out of windows.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but jokes on the people that accidentally push them out, because if they have that superconducting metal and a magnet, they're just gonna float right before they hit the ground.
Yeah.
As long as the ground is metal, that's
Yeah.
Or if there's snow on it, because snow is soft. That's what saved Batman in his plummet from space.
Oh, Jeremy, you were saying about the replicators for food. I saw advertisements for something. It was well over a year ago. It might have been 2 years ago or so, where it was like a beverage container that you could hook up to your computer, and you and somebody else had like the master one, and they could put something in it, and whatever flavor they had, they could send out a signal, and you filled yours with water, and it somehow did something so that you could share the taste of what you were drinking with somebody else.
Witchcraft, I swear.
You'd have water, but it would taste like whatever the person was. I mean, it didn't have.
You've seen television, but now try Tasty Vision.
So I have no idea what that was about, but I did see it more than once mentioned, and then it just kind of went away. So it must not have been very good at what it did, but it was something that
or it was too
needed
good,
after
and
people
and a
invested
lot of
in it.
people had defenestration syndrome. Defenestration is a fancy word for being thrown out of a window, guys.
Thank you.
They did it in
Yes.
Prague 3 times, although one technically they were dead first and they launched him out. But that's why I'm really impressed with Prague.
How dare you?
Great
This man was not killed by being thrown out of this window. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. He was strangled and then thrown out the window. Well,
He was
that's
already
worse
dead.
though. You understand how that's worse, right?
So, Kari, you put some images on here for Baldur's Gate 3. What do you got there?
Okay, so you had brought up Baldur's Gate 3 that you were playing it, and I was like, oh, I love the setting. And they were talking about how a lot of people got into the game, the video game, because they were into playing it in D&D, and Faerun, which is where Baldur's Gate is set, is my favorite campaign setting ever. So I just found it really neat. They went ahead and it's on the D&D. If you go into the D&D net game, you can now download for that game site the dice and the different character sheets for all of the NPC or for all of the main characters that you can start off with. So you can do Gale, Lizelle, Will, and Karlak, as well as Shadowheart and Astarion, and it has them all filled out, so you can put them into one of the games that you're playing. And then if you want to use them as your own character, you can. If you want to have your characters come up against them, if you're running a game and you just want some pre-made NPCs that have a lot of backstory, so you don't have to worry about it, you can go ahead and do that. So it's kind of just
the
neat
lazy
little
part appeals to
extras.
me.
It's free content. It's just kind of neat. So it's like those people who were attracted to the game because of the campaign setting, like I am, can go ahead and be like, oh, I can play that one right there if I feel like it, or
That's pretty
I
cool.
can have him be running the town or something. So
So
that's kinda-
it's utilizing the pre-made characters in Baldur's Gate 3, utilizing them in the tabletop game. Is that it?
yeah, and
Okay.
it's going ahead and giving us all of their information and a free digital dice to go ahead and, for those of us that want to tabletop it instead of playing the video game, we
Okay,
can have those
nice.
characters directly set up. So
Yeah, that's one of the things that Baldur's Gate did, is they give you actually preset characters if you're not comfortable with like building your own character at all or just want to get into it. They have pre-made D&D characters for you. Or you could just go through and create your character with all the in-depth, all this, I think, is the 5E rules. Is that it?
yeah, that I'm not as happy about, but I'm a 3.5 girl myself.
Yeah, I was going to
but
say that's a different edition than I'm used to.
but there are easy ways for those of us who play like on Roll20 or something to convert 5th ed to 3.5. You just, it's a lot of it is rolling the same number of dice. They just changed a couple things, like instead of having all of these skills be separate, they just lump a bunch of them together and give you one thing that you put in points for, or they changed a little bit of how the combat system works. But I like what they've done with this new Baldur's Gate, in that they're letting the people who are it's teaching people who play the video games how to play the pen and paper game. And for those of us who do that, it's bringing us back to where we can like hop in. Unfortunately, it's 5th ed, but we can get that content and use it however we like. For those of us who are smart enough to do a little math conversion. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of things that are lumped up but absolutely look fucking terrible. What'd you guys think about the Rebel Moon trailer from Zack Snyder over on Netflix? Because literally my first reaction, I sat there and watched it with Dara, and as soon as it was over, I said exactly what I posted as a status on Facebook. It looks like Sucker Punch 2 desaturated kitchen sink dumpster fire. My God. Do we have a shot, a scene, a clip real quick of Scott Glenn saying, "If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything"? Because if so, then guess what? You've legitimately just recreated an entire sequence from Sucker Punch. That's it. Ooh,
still don't
so much
understand that movie.
desaturation of the images. My God, I love how bland and colorless everything looks. Zack Snyder, your absolute mastery of not showing things that are vibrant really gets my fucking gears going. Jesus Christ.
Like it doesn't know what type of movie it wants to be, you know?
Yeah, because the biggest problem was the fact that they let Zack Snyder near the fucking computer they typed the script on. God damn it. Every single time it's written by Zack Snyder, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. It's just basically going to be Visual Masturbation Fest 2023.
What the hell is this guy just wearing sweatpants and a
Ghostbusters
bug
back.
sprayer? Oh, not even that. It's just like a Home Depot like bug sprayer.
It looks like he's wearing something from Idiocracy. I bet he's got Crocs on.
Welcome to Walmart. I love you.
Yeah, and dude jumping off the
there's your
fucking
girlfriend.
cliff or whatever, or the guy jumping off the cliff. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I've seen Avatar. Stop it. Just fucking stop. I wonder if he connects the thing's tail to the back of his head. Jesus.
And enters the Matrix.
My name is Neo.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me. Oh my God. Fucking, yeah, just what a.
And then it's the Princess Bride.
I do think it's funny that they had. What's the name of the mercenary dude who sided with Daenerys for a while there in Game of Thrones? You know, what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Not Jason Momoa's character.
No. After he was dead. I think she like slept with him.
Yeah, the guy, they totally changed characters. Like,
Yeah, both of the guys that played that character are in Rebel Moon.
yeah, and they look nothing alike.
No, the first guy was the guy that played Ajax in Deadpool.
He was like a blonde, like
Ed Screen. Ed Screen, the
Ed
guy
Skrein.
that played Ajax. He's the one that played the long-haired version of that character when he was first on the show. And then this guy that took over is Michael Huisman, who I know him. The only other thing I know him from is Orphan Black, that was on BBC America, which starred Tatiana Maslany and was an excellent science fiction show. If you get the chance, check it out, kiddies. I think they're actually making a follow-up, like a spin-off show coming up. I can't remember who it stars though. But yeah, check it out. Like I said, Orphan Black. You won't regret it. If you like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and like kind of high concept sci-fi and a little bit of a mystery setting, like always trying to figure out, like, solve this, you're in for a fucking wild ride, man. Knock your socks off.
Tom Dog talked. I still want to try the freshly printed pizza. Never heard of that.
I think he's talking about digital printing since we were talking about the food
Yeah.
replicators.
Oh,
Sounds like something they have in Japan.
yeah, like a 3D printer, but for pizzas.
Yeah.
It's a very specific kind of printer.
Ah,
Yeah, it is what it is.
yeah.
I'd try it. I wouldn't expect anything of it.
I mean, that's my guess. I don't think Tom Dog's into eating resin, so
I feel like I'd dig into it and be like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's still not, Pizzeria Regina on the north end of Boston. So, don't go right home to mom. Not just yet, anyway.
So, Kari, what's with these Superman sneakers?
Oh, that was something Richard posted up, and I thought they were real. I'm not much of the shoe person, but I thought they looked like really, really snazzy sneakers. And it's currently the design was set up by someone, but it hasn't actually been put into. They are not making them. it says cue in the Hans Zimmer theme because we're going to dive into this epic concept design by Brandon Krieg. Am I pronouncing that correct? Fortress of Solitude's Krige, Krieg?
Yeah, I'd say Krieg.
Okay.
Yeah, Krieg. Absolutely.
So he has designed these, but they have not yet been launched. But hopefully we can get our hands on these someday. I don't know about you. You're
That's
the shoe
that's
guy. I think they're
that's
just kind of
that's essentially fan art. That's basically what it's just like somebody, grabbing a photo of Nathan Fillion and saying like, "Oh, this is what I think he's going to look like as Guy Gardner," and people keep posting shit like that as news items. I'm like, this is a big fat nothing burger of a news item. Thank you for that. I came here wanting a fucking double cheeseburger, and you gave me a diet Dr. Pepper. Get fucked. But that being said, Fila did come out with Superman themed sneakers just like a year or 2 years ago. And I have them, and they're fantastic. I love Air Jordans too. I just personally, for myself, I don't do high tops because I'm Irish, so I have stumpy little leprechaun legs. So if I wear high tops, it doesn't look right. It honestly looks like I should be dancing around a fucking cauldron with gold coins in it, staying, always after me Lucky Charms and all that shit. So, oh no, leave the coins, take the balloons and rainbows and the stars and horseshoes. You can have as many of those as you'd like. But yeah, if they're lows, I don't even really do mids, but if they're low tops like lows, then yeah, I'll jump all over that like white on rice. I like that design. The only thing I don't dig on is the kryptonite swoosh. If you're gonna make the rest of the shoe blue, yellow, and red to indicate the costume and emblem of the character, then that swoosh should have been, at this point, I'd say yellow.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. The only way I'd say you'd make it red is if you had yellow shoelaces on it, if that was the standard. But that's otherwise, I dig it. I don't think it's necessary. If for some reason Nike says, "Oh yeah, we'd love to do this," but they usually do that with more big established names for styles and what have you, especially for like limited editions, because it really drives the traffic to make sure that they sell. The worst thing is making like 2,500 only of a particular style, and then you still have 1,800 left. Like, oh, no one bought it. Hey, do our shoes suck? No, just those ones. Oh, message received. Thanks. But yeah,
The color on them, what you were saying though, with the shoelaces, they're apparently purposefully mismatched black and blue.
Can I see that photo again? Oh yeah, I was paying attention to the one more to the forefront. Yeah, I hate that.
Oh yeah.
I don't get what that's referencing, but
Why would one lace be black?
Oh, is one Bizarro?
I think it's honestly just to show like the two different color laces that the pair might come with. That's all. It's fairly common to see stuff like that, but I wouldn't count on that getting made. I would really honestly like rethink that swoosh. That's the thing that kills it. Is just that green out of nowhere. If you're gonna focus on the character, like it's not part of Superman's image, the kryptonite. It's what we know is his weakness. So like, why would he have that around him and with him? It doesn't make sense. Now, if you're doing a Lex Luthor themed sneaker, 100% green and purple, make that swoosh a fucking crystal green. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But that's just me. I've dabbled.
I'm not a big shoe person. I just saw that it had been posted and went, ooh, that's kind of neat looking. I'm not, like I said, I don't do shoes, so I was like, but
I'm a short shoe person. I'm not that big.
I'm a little shoe person.
I'm like 2 pairs of shoes. My sandals and my sneakers.
2. Yeah. Eesh. I have a lot of pairs of shoes and sneakers, even nearby. Jesus.
How many
I
nearby?
know.
How many? I mean, I just counted 3, not including the pair I'm wearing, and that was just a quick look. I know that there's like probably 2 more pairs over here, easy. Plus, I know I have a pair of slide-on Dr. Scholl's over by the door there. Then I have my knock-around Doc Martens over by the back door. I have a whole shitload of them that I keep in the next room, lined up neatly. Depends on the outfit I'm wearing, kids.
You are
Catholic
dapper.
school does a fucking number on you, okay? The shoes have to match the socks and the pants and the shirt and the sweat. Oh, God. If I'm not wearing the right socks, Sister Mary Catherine's going to smack my knuckles with the ruler again. I just know it.
Lower Decks comes back soon.
Yes, September 7th. Going to be a good time. It was pretty cool watching Strange New Worlds and seeing that they have a fun little crossover episode with Lower Decks involving time travel.
Yeah, and those old scientists.
Those old scientists. I'm so mad at that. I was so fucking mad, because it was so good. It was like it was legitimately clever. And when he finally said it at the end of the episode, I was just like, "Oh, you fucking jerks!" It was right in front of me the whole goddamn time.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that was the title of the episode too.
Yeah, that's why I said it was right in front of me the whole goddamn time,
gotcha.
Leo.
So for those of you that do not get the joke, the Kirk series was referenced as TOS, or the original series.
No, it is referenced as
Yes.
Star Trek TOS. That's
Yeah.
how we audience members and fans refer to the original series of Star Trek, Star Trek TOS. But
Yep.
in universe, in Strange New Worlds, especially as it was established by Boimler from the animated show Lower Decks, he calls that era TOS. And they're like, TOS? And he says, yeah, those old scientists. And that's the name of the episode that they have the whole crossover in, when he accidentally travels back in time. Not a big spoiler, but Jack Quaid, who does the voice of Boimler in the cartoon, plays the live action of him in the episode. And the woman who does Mariner's voice on the show plays the live action version of her as well. And they entitled the episode "Those Old Scientists," and it wasn't until like the very end of the episode that he makes reference to how he views that era, and I was ready to punch my television because I was like, I should have gotten this. It went right over my head until the last minute. Fuck everybody. Like,
Star Trek got you.
it was a really fucking good episode though too. Like,
Yeah,
I lost
it
my
was.
shit. Riker.
Riker.
I lost it. I lost it, dude. I actually, before the show, I stopped and explained to Dara how, like, I made sure she understood that Riker sat a certain way over chairs in Next Generation. I was like, it's just really, I know it seems like nothing, but it's really important that you understand that. And then we watched the episode, and like, that's all it was. And she was like, I got that 7-minute explanation for that 2-second scene. I'm like, you've been with me for 15 years. I don't know at this point why you would be surprised by that in the least bit. If anything, I should be disappointed in you for being surprised. How about that? How's that grab you? Yeah. Fucking Uno reversed up in this bitch.
Well, and he sat that way because he had
Of
a
his
medical
back.
condition. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a
Yep.
bad back. Yeah, no, I explained. I
Did
wasn't gonna give the explanation here on show, but yeah, like,
Okay.
Didn't Wesley Crusher also start doing that?
yes.
towards-
And the funny thing about that is, Will Wheaton started doing it because he was trying to emulate Jonathan Frakes because he was like, Jonathan Frakes
It's cool.
is cool. And Jonathan Frakes is like, yeah, my back hurt. That's why I did it. I'm tall enough that I could do that, and so I did. It was a lot easier and more comfortable. And yeah, Boimler just Jack Quaid. And I gotta say too, Jack Quaid is a lot fucking taller than you realize. Like straight up, that dude, I don't think I realized he's like 6'3". And they do a really good job of making him look a lot more slight in The Boys. Especially when you think about the fact that he was based on a character named Wee Huey. But yeah, you see him standing alongside a lot of the people in Strange New Worlds, and he's actually like 2 inches taller than Ethan Peck, the guy who plays Spock. They play with the camera a lot, but they do just a couple of wide shots with the two of them, and they have like a bio bed between them in the infirmary, sick bay, and I'm looking at him like, oh my god, this fucking dude is like, he's a beanpole. Holy shit. And it's so weird too, like watching him in different angles. I'm like, oh, okay, so there's Dennis Quaid, and there's Meg Ryan, and there's Dennis Quaid, and there's Meg Ryan. He looks like such a like amorphous amalgamation of both of his parents. It's sometimes, for me, knowing his parentage, it can pull me right out. I want to say jarring, but it distracts me occasionally. I'm sure I'll get used to it the more I see him in things. The guy's talented, and I'm all for seeing him show up in more stuff.
Well, it seems like he's showing up everywhere now too. So let's see. He's known for Hunger Games, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I just watched that, by the way, the new one. Scream, Logan Lucky. Yeah, The Boys, Star Trek Lower Decks, My Adventures with Superman.
He's the voice
New
of
World.
Clark and Superman for My Adventures with Superman. Yeah, Lower Decks, like you said. Yeah,
Batman Long Halloween.
He also was doing like stuff with a comedy troupe for a long time. He's like really, really good friends with this comedian Danny Jolles. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I apologize if I'm butchering it. But it's Jolles. And I only became aware of that guy because he plays a sort of secondary to tertiary character briefly on the 4-season show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend from the CW. And he's a stand-up comedian. He's fucking hysterical. Like, he is very funny. And they used to do stuff together. And Jack Quaid, actually, it was kind of cool seeing it just recently, like, threw out on his like Instagram stories and stuff that his friend Danny Jolles has shows coming up, and everyone should go check him out and shit. So it's really cool seeing people like that doing what they can to like pump their friends up and everything too.
So he has a new one they're working on right now, Heads of State. Not too much information on it, but it looks like a lot of big actors. John Cena, Idris Elba,
Carla Gugino,
Can't see me.
Priyanka Jones, Stephen Root, Patty Considine. Holy crap. Richard Coyle. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of good people in this, huh?
Yeah, and for the description, it's just keep under wraps.
Well, it'll be a while before we see anything done with that, considering there's a strike going on. So
yeah, that's true.
Get ready for a whole lot of reviews of shit we liked 4 years ago, kids.
Yep, exactly.
It's time, we're gonna all check out Gotham Knights now.
You shut your lying fucking mouth. It will never get that bad, Jeremy. You fucking don't you put that evil on me, Rem Dog. I will fucking murder you.
It's gonna be horrible. We're all gonna start watching Gotham and then Gotham Knights. And
Pennyworth.
Oh, Pennyworth! I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
that will not happen. Not in my house anyway. And I will not be badgered into watching any of these things either. So you get that out of your head right fucking now, Leo.
Leo, I can see it in a year from now. Leo's going to be like, so I just finished season 2 of Gotham Knights, and I got to tell you guys, it's the best.
I mean, isn't there only one season? Because it was already dropped like a hot potato.
I have no idea. That's how much I didn't touch that one.
Yeah.
Raz says British and reality shows will explode for a while. Unfortunately, reality shows, British shows, yeah, totally, that would be awesome.
I hope we get. There's supposed to be a Peaky Blinders movie coming out at some point.
You know, we started watching that. We couldn't get into it.
No. Oh,
Well, we've
sorry
only
for
watched
you.
the first episode, so.
I love that show. Like when it first came out, I was a big like telling everybody to watch it, kind of like you were with the ranch there. It's just Skinwalker
really like
Ranch. No.
Oh,
No.
Shut up. Shut up.
It's not Oak Island.
Shut up. Shut up. Everybody shut up. Okay.
So Atari.
So my dog.
Oh yeah,
Otis,
Atari. Ooh.
Atari. What's happening? What happened with
Oh,
Atari?
you didn't see that?
Long.
Okay, so Pong was released November 29th of 1972 for Atari. And it's only been, 51 years in the wait, but they are now releasing a sequel to it called Comp 2. I'm assuming it's Comp.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Atari Plus. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
I was
That-
like,
I
hold
put a
on.
link-
There's a.
This is
I
all
put a
news to
link
me.
to
Yeah. I saw the
the
ad.
trailer for the game. Yeah. And then-
Oh.
But it's still basically that you just have the little ball going around, but it's exploring larger areas. You, as the ball escapes the paddles and goes off to explore the universe. But I love the way they describe this simply because it's still just a fucking ball bouncing around and avoiding obstacles and doing things. It's kind of like they just took Mario or somebody and replaced it with a Pong ball. But there's cerebral puzzling. The simple 2-button controls belie complex and compelling gameplay. Use your reflexes to think ahead and master 30 tricky levels. Hidden collectibles on the map push you to explore every inch of the creatively rich, minimalist environment. Bounce between emotions, Comp 2 is an enigmatic story of doubt, fear, and self-acceptance, told wordlessly with simple animations, effects, and the game mechanics themselves, a surprising twist based on the classic Pong. Surprises galore. If the game's premise doesn't raise an eyebrow, just wait until you dive into the challenges, which get increasingly difficult as you master new aspects of gameplay. And don't worry, death is not the end in this arcade-inspired world. Quick respawn makes sure you're back in the action in seconds. And finally, we have bountiful bosses. 4 bosses block your escape at the end of each world. Use your newfound skills to master their attacks and defenses in order to move on. Much like a real game of Pong, you must be prepared to defend your position. Comp 2 arrives in 2024 on PC via Steam and Epic, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and Series XS, Atari, VCS, and iOS and Android mobile platforms. Who
Wow.
knew that the sequel to fucking Pong could be written in such a way? And I mean, it's
Pong 2, Pong harder.
I'm really impressed with the person who wrote that up because I don't get how all of those things really fit into a ball bouncing around, but man.
Well,
You should play the game Buddy Simulator 1984. that shit fucked me up for a few days. Leo knows. I kind of tossed and turned for like a day while I was playing it. I was uncomfortable.
Well, in similar news, Atari is re-releasing the Atari. So the
that
Atari,
makes sense. It'd be weird if they were re-releasing the Genesis.
I know. So the Atari 2600 Plus is an updated Atari console that's HDMI. It has HDMI output. It will play Atari 2600 and Atari 7800 games, the actual cartridges.
That's kind of cool. It's not just fully loaded with like 100 games.
No, it comes with a 10-in-1 cartridge, but you can put your old Atari cartridges in it and play it. Has the same layout as.
This is for a select bunch of people.
Yeah, for all 17 of those folks, man. this is their time to shine.
I think my sister still has. We had when we were little, and then.
Well, now we just need to narrow down the other 16 people.
She had 2 of them because she had 2 black and white TVs, and she had all the same games, and so she had them set up on 2 different racks, and then they'd pull them out when she was in college and set up and played. You couldn't really versus so much on a lot of those games, but they would both play the same game to see who could get further along and stuff with it. So. It's kind of fun. So she's 2 of the 17 people, technically.
I love that.
Fucking re-releasing the Atari to play old Atari games on. I mean,
yeah.
What the fuck is next? Are they going to be releasing a brand new electric abacus? This is fucking stupid.
Electric abacus.
Well, all the math of a regular calculator, but 3 times the work.
Well, they re-released the Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and people bought it up like a.
No. They released loaded.
Loaded
collector's versions of those systems. This is here's a system, and hopefully you have games to play on it that we made 43 fucking years ago. But otherwise, good luck out there.
Leo's been waiting.
Who is this for? Yeah, it's for assholes who see a fucking Star Wars spaceship toy and go, $499.99, though. I think there's a second ship in there. So, I mean, it's not.
I have to say the price of the console is not bad, though, if that was what it was.
Yeah, because you can't, but considering you can't get any fucking games for it, oh my God.
Well, you can buy them on eBay.
Yeah, and how much do they cost?
Kind of a cool thing, once again, for those 17 people, because you can now hook up your Atari to a Today TV.
Yeah. Other than trying to mod it.
Yeah.
I think they are coming out with new homebrew games too.
Oh, really? Huh.
I don't know what that means. Homebrew games? What
so like an indie game. Yeah. So
okay. I got you.
So you can buy. Actually, no, they're re-releasing. You can buy Berserk.
I did not have discussing the release of an Atari 2600 on my nerd bingo card for 2023.
I
did
wonder,
not
sucks
at
for
all.
you.
Check that out.
That is nice looking.
Yeah, that's slick.
Oh, and the games are only $30.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. With the paddles, $39.99, you can get a bunch of the paddle games. Let's see, 4 games.
They'll use for the Pong one.
Breakout, Night Driver. Ooh, I had Night Driver. Cannon Bomber, Video Olympic.
What fucking year is it? What is happening right now? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Get to the chopper.
Ooh, Chopper Command.
Yep, that's what I was thinking of. I was like, ooh. My number 1 game on it was Food Fighter back in the day on the 7800.
I never had the 7800.
I'd get woken up in the middle of the night because my mom would be playing Space Invaders, and like she'd have to go to the bathroom, and they'd just be like, Kari, and I'm like 6. Yeah, what do you need? Sit down and play this for a couple of levels for me because I was good at it too. So she's like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm like,
my parents had the dumbest rule where we were only allowed like a half hour of play a day.
Oh, look at you. I can only play for a half hour a day. Must have been nice living in your fucking palace, huh? I was only allowed to play video games on my Nintendo on Saturdays and until about 2 p.m. on Sundays.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I grow up
that
and
is
see
kind of tough.
I grow up and see all my friends like who played video games whenever they wanted, and they get all excited about video games and consoles and how much time they dedicate to learning these different moves for games and strategies. And I'm like, I like reading. That's fun. I don't have the fundamental background to play a lot of these video games that come out nowadays. I'm like, I'm stuck at like the equivalent of a 13-year-old in like 1993. You know what I mean? Like, cool. I can't do the third person thing. It fucks me up. Like, I just like I turn to the left, turn to the right. How do I pivot? This doesn't work. I have no peripherals. Fuck this shit. I don't want to play fucking GoldenEye, okay? Like, it's but no, in all seriousness, the worst. My mother though would play the fucking Nintendo in front of us during the week, play Pac-Man, using my brother's NES Advantage to do so. But we were not allowed to fucking turn it on and play it. Yeah, we were told like, oh, if you just sit there and play video games, you won't do anything else. And then my mother would sit there and play Pac-Man and not do anything else.
See,
I remember her like losing her fucking mind at me and my brother because we started fighting, like arguing, not drag down fight, but arguing, being little kids, because of like Super Mario Brothers or some bullshit like that. And she fucking runs, a hysterical heightened hawk of a woman, and he's like, "It's a fucking video game. Relax." Yada yada yada. I'm like, oh, fine, whatever. We were admonished, and then we were playing, and it was either me or my brother. It might have been me. It was probably me. I was just going through the parlor, and she pulled the fucking Nintendo as far out from the entertainment center as she could with the wire like almost taut, so she could then bring the wire of the controller all the way to the couch and sit there. Whereas like we would sit on the fucking floor and play in front of the TV. And we're playing, and I'm making my way to go outside, and I accidentally like hit the wire with the tip of my sneaker, and it fucking froze, and then caused the Nintendo to need to be reset. And she lost her ever loving shit on me because of a video game. And this was probably one of the first instances in my life where I was just like learning how to be a smart ass, because I didn't mean it in a sarcastic way, but I was genuine in my query. But I thought you said they're just video games and they don't matter, so we shouldn't get upset about them. And she was like, get the fuck outside. I'm like, yes, absolutely, ma'am. Outside is where I'll be. Don't even worry about if I need water. I'll just use the fucking hose. Not a problem. See you later. It's 1:00 on Saturday right now. We're in Charlestown. I will see you at 7:33 when the lights come on. Where am I going? Oh, I can't answer that question because I don't know. Bye.
Those were the days.
So
that's why I get the biggest kick out of like the kids nowadays. Like, Jesus Christ, you guys didn't have the internet or mobile phones or any of the cool stuff we have nowadays. What would you even do back then? It's like,
Have fun.
Kid. My parents needed a commercial on network television at 10 p.m. asking if they knew where their children were because of the time it was at night. We were fucking fine. Please believe me. Yeah. We were having our own adventures. And the best part is there was no one there to record it.
Mm-hmm.
We use our imagination, kids.
Well, I mean, imagination can be synonymous with marijuana in some instances, I suppose. Not this one. Not this one at all. But in some. Yeah, well, yeah, we were fucking fine. We had action figures, cartoons on Saturdays, and being told to stay the fuck out of the house until it was dinner time. Yeah.
Raz, we were.
But I'm reading my book. Bring your fucking book with you. Get the fuck out of the house. Oh, All right, I guess books are portable. Yeah, you know what? Good note, Dad. Good note.
Raz says we walked uphill for 8 miles both ways to play Commodore 64 in the neighbor's fallout shelter for 30 minutes every Saturday.
I still try to figure out the math on how my father walked uphill both ways.
He's on an
Yeah.
island that was really bendy.
Why don't you take the same way home?
How'd you? But wouldn't it have been downhill at one point? It just doesn't make sense. If it's uphill one way, it'd be downhill the other.
There was a large valley between us.
Fucking circle that you had to travel in. Jesus Christ.
Parents were divorced, and you walked from dad's in the morning and to mom's after school.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Sure.
Different
saw that.
houses.
Yeah. Gravity hated him because everything was just out to kill you and make you miserable back then.
Fucking. I remember my youngest brother like saying to my dad, like when he was really little, he's like, I have to play these video games because I want to grow up to be a video game designer. And my dad was like, oh yeah, you want to be a video game designer? Sure, absolutely, kid. Let me tell you one of the things I've said to anyone that has ever told me they want to be a video game designer. I'll take a large regular with extra sugar. So that killed his dream. That was fun. I'm like, oh, buddy, you're a Powers now. No, I'm just kidding. My dad never said that. He never would. He was not a dream killer. But it sounds great, doesn't it? I mean, terrible, but great.
So these started popping up on my feed. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Since we were
Better
on
not
video.
show us porn bots, Leo. I'm gonna be so mad. Fight box?
Have you heard of the all button joysticks?
Have not.
Isn't that
How
sort
do you
of
move?
an oxymoron?
Buttons.
An all button joystick. That sounds like that's a D-pad. That's not a joystick.
Or my
So
keyboard.
up, down, left, right.
WASD.
Our buttons. Yeah. WASD, yeah.
That looks overly complicated.
Yeah.
I'm
not a PC gamer at all, so would not be for me.
I just don't get it.
I mean, sure. Looks like somebody glued a bunch of checkers to a fucking plastic sheet.
Yep.
$130 a piece. Damn.
What's that?
Yeah, 130. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those bigger control pads are friggin' wicked expensive. I'd love to get a old school joystick one like they have for Street Fighter, but I'm not paying like $150 for control.
Oh no, 8-Bit Do makes a good one.
Oh Jesus Christ, Leo, you and your fucking Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away from.
Yeah. They make one like the old NES Advantage.
And what's that run?
120.
Yeah, 120.
It's for Xbox.
Oh, it works for everything.
Oh, well, it says Xbox One, Windows 10. I don't know.
Let's see.
Oh God, I didn't need clarification. I was just, it's fine. Okay, I guess we're doing this.
I like the carrying case.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch, Windows. It's wireless.
I cannot
89.
I cannot justify owning such a thing as that. I mean, it looks cool. Like it certainly harkens back to my nostalgia for like the NES Advantage we had in my house growing up. Like I love that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually.
What you got back there, Leo?
All kinds of goodies. You want to see?
And I got into the back of that car with that van with that crazy old man, and by God, he had the best baseball card collection I have ever seen.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
you got it.
I do.
Wow, you play a lot of video games over in that corner. You just had to dig that up from.
Actually, I've been using.
I've been using it as a coaster.
This controller.
So money well spent then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this I played a lot of kung fu with this, so it was.
Oh, you mean like the show that was ripped off from a pitch by Bruce Lee
Warrior.
that
Yeah.
eventually became Warrior on Max?
Exactly.
Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God.
We made full circle.
Yay! You see, it's like a circle.
It's a giant snake eating itself.
That sounds like Wednesday to me. All right, kids. We got anything else? We all storied out here?
I think we're all storied out, unless you all have anything else.
No, I don't think that there's anything that springs immediately to mind for me. There's a whole lot of non-news because on the entertainment like multimedia front because of the writers' strike. So we're not seeing a whole lot in coming through for developments. We touched on Ahsoka. Rebel Moon looks like fucking hot garbage. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Oh.
Jamie.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap things up then. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know me, just Google me, you'll find me. I'm everywhere. But head on over to thedorkening.com. You can learn more about the Dorkening Podcast Network there. A lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. I do a bunch of shows during the week. I'm sure Brandon will tell you about a couple other awesome ones I do with him. But I also do splash pages with Kari and Jar Jar on Tuesdays, Still Token on Wednesdays, and Brandon, we got a couple other things going on.
Yes, indeed. First, we do the Dork Night podcast with our good buddy Justin Cooper, where we discuss and dissect all kinds of different Batman stories and what have you. Stories, shows, animated movies themselves, live action films. The way I like to describe it is a show where two bat dorks together and just absolutely fawn over how much they love the character, and I am also there. And then we switch off with Comics Paradox, which Leo, myself, and Coop talk about all kinds of different alternate reality tales, like DC's Elseworlds and Marvel's What Ifs, as well as different story arcs from both of those publishers, as well as stories from more independent labels. Most recently, we covered Wanted and Nemesis by Mark Miller for Top Cow Productions and his Miller World label. I think I do this. Leo. Let's see, Leo. I don't know what the fuck else Leo does. He says he's the monkey behind the keyboard. Like he's always behind that keyboard. We don't see him. He just pops his head out like the fucking groundhog in February every once in a while, just to let us know that he wants to talk about a comic book he read last week. But if you want to check out any of those, you can find either one of those podcasts wherever fine podcasts are broadcast. You can stop on by for Comics Paradox and check out the website that's up and running now, comicsparadox.com, COMIXPARADOX. And if you want to come on through Facebook and check out the Powers Combined group, we're just a consortium of dorks and nerds that like to share info, news, memes, jokes, good times and laughs to be had by all. Our number one rule there is don't be a jerk. If you violate that, you will be booted immediately.
Awesome. Kari.
Hey, everybody. When I am not hanging out with these guys on Splash Pages and Midweek Geeks here in the Dorkening, you can find me over on the Owlite Network, where we do a bunch of shows that are all based on, well, the whole thing began with a storytelling base, and pretty much every show still keeps some element of that within it. We have Thank Cthulhu, it is Sundays, and that's a rotating schedule of shows between interview shows, sitting around sharing stories like a campfire, learning about the art of storytelling. We just ended our last season, our summer season, and we're going into the fall season. So we have a couple new things in the lineup. Some of our hosts work at a haunt, so we're going to be changing our Friday night shows to Monday night and then wrapping some new stuff in on Thursdays. And we're adding a couple of new audio and straight to YouTube stuff going in. I'll just watch the show, find me at Kari Sanders on Facebook. All my links go there. Check us out. We have our website, and you can learn all about what I have going on over there from there. So, yeah.
Awesome. Senior
Hey.
Jar Jar.
Check me out on Facebook. I'm Jeremy Courtney. I always need new friends. I do splash pages on Tuesday with Leo and Kari at 8 o'clock. Find us on Facebook and YouTube. This show on Wednesdays. Sometimes I'm on Still Token with. That's at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. Coming in the next few weeks, please be watching my Facebook page because I will be dropping episodes of the re-education of Nancy Ann Ritter soon. And that's going to be fantastic. And we will be first watching the Texas Chain. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm wrong. Not the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's episode 2. Episode 1 is The Shining. So please be sure to check that out.
Very cool. And where will you be next week?
Oh, and next week, thank you, Leo. I'm going to be in Virginia Beach, Virginia for the Tidewater Horror Con. It's going to be fantastic. There's going to be tons of celebs like Don Yeso. Let's see, who do we got here? Don Yeso, Gigi Edgley, Felissa Rose, who I'm really excited to meet, Lucinda Jenny, tons of people. It's going to be a really good time. It's September 8th through the 10th. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, going to be a lot of fun. With that, we'll catch you later.
Awesome.
Bye.
Free parking. Free parking.
Good night, everybody.